What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Wait, What Are We Talking About podcast. I am Bret, aka Enigma9011, and once again, I am joined by Kyle, aka Who Dat Ninja 73. Guess what? We're talking more wrestling. Shocker. But this is episode 43. You can catch it live every first and third Saturday of the month over on twitch.tv/Enigma9011 every, like I said, first and third Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern. If you can't catch it live, that's okay. You can catch it over on youtube.com. Search Enigma9011, where it's broken out topic by topic or put as one big video for your amusement. Soon to be podcast services. Somebody's working on that. And then remember, guys, if you ever have a topic that you would like us to discuss, you can always put it in the comment section down below or join us on Discord and put it in that tab, respectively. Last but not least, hashtag ad. This podcast is brought to you guys by the merch store. You can get all of your Enigma 9011 swag over there. T-shirts, cups, backpacks, and more. Rep the brand. Support us. That would be greatly appreciated. All right, so we're a few weeks out from the biggest weekend of wrestling history.
Are we, though?
I mean...
It feels like I'm still living in it.
True. Well, you did live it. Jealous. On, like, one of the busiest weekends for you also with the whole Kind of Funny New York City meetup, which thank you for doing that once again. That was awesome.
It was my pleasure. It was a great time. So...
WrestleMania weekend happened, the weekend of the 6th? Yeah, 6th,
yep.
5th, 6th, 7th, there we go. So we're going to start with that, and then we're going to kind of roll into some more generic topics about just wrestling in general, along with recent events that have happened these past few weeks, post-Mania. But yeah, like I said, we're going to just go right into it. First, we're going to talk about NXT Takeover. Our thoughts about that and all the matches, and of course how they blew it out of the water, like always.
Oh yeah.
So out of Takeover, there was 5 matches in total.
5.
Okay, Ricochet and Aleister Black against War Raiders. We had.
Wait, War Raiders.
Oh, sorry. The Viking Experience.
Thank you.
We had the Velveteen Dream defending his championship against Matt Riddle. We had Walter and Pete Dunne going for the UK title. We had the ladies, Io, Kairi, Bianca, and Shayna. Oh my God, I almost ripped that name apart. Going for the women's belt. And then we had Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano going for the vacated NXT belt. Whew, that's a lot of names. All right. Yeah. So Kyle, you were at the show.
I was.
How was that?
Oh, it was great. This is now my 3rd or 4th takeover.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Just because, like, SummerSlam has been in Brooklyn the last couple of years, and I've been lucky enough to go to every single one. Mm-hmm. It's NXT takeovers are the pinnacle for me for live wrestling. Mm-hmm. Like, they always crush it. The Triple H knows, because he's the one in charge, if you don't know of NXT. He knows how to give each match its time, so the matches don't feel rushed. Everyone gets to put on a solid in-ring story. And just looking at the times for each match, like, I knew while I was there live, it's like, oh man, every match is going to get a chance to breathe, and the close falls, the false finishes were organic, and they're awesome. Mm-hmm. But I think the shortest match was 15 minutes.
Wow.
And
okay.
that was the ladies.
Yep.
And then 3 of them were over 20, and the NXT Championship was almost 40 minutes long.
Damn.
So, like, they gave each match its own time to breathe, which can be shown if you watched it. Like, I don't know how it came across on the stream, but we were loud the entire show.
Yeah, it came through pretty well. And then, yeah, like you said, time-wise, with it being 20 and 15 and whatnot, like, it didn't feel like, it never feels like it's that long either. Like, I felt like Dunn and Walter, this personally being my first time watching Walter wrestle,
same.
I felt that one went a while, but it wasn't a bad thing.
No.
It was just, I think it might have been the pacing that was the big thing that made it seem longer and elongated.
Yeah.
But that one, I felt like, whoo, we're going here.
Yeah, we are.
So
Walter's a big dude.
Yeah.
He could totally feel, he came across super powerful, which I think is what they were going for.
For sure.
And, you know, he ended Pete Dunne's like 500-something day reign
as
champ, which
nuts.
I predicted, because, like, how can you beat Walter at this point? You know, I also thought, because I maybe Pete would get called up and be on Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But didn't happen.
No.
Yeah, that match was fantastic. Like you said, I knew it was long, but I wasn't bored.
Right.
I was on the edge of my seat, seeing how many different ways Pete Dunne is going to break Walter's finger.
Yeah.
How many hard ass slaps that Walter's going to give Pete Dunne, because in person it sounded like a concrete slab against like a tree trunk.
Oh,
like
boy.
It sounded like it hurt. So I
Jesus.
can't imagine what it feels like.
So, out of those 5 matches, Kyle, which one would you say is your favorite?
Oh man, this is tough. This is real tough.
Yep.
I will say the one that surprised me was the Dream and Riddle match.
Okay.
I love Velveteen Dream. I didn't watch Matt Riddle's stuff outside WWE. I'm strictly a WWE person. And so, like, I saw his couple things at NXT. I was like, okay, whatever. Matt Riddle's okay.
Yeah.
But this match sold me on Matt Riddle, and he's... I'm sure he will take this as an insult, but he's just a smaller Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I can see that.
With the intensity, the hard-hittingness of him. That match blew my socks off. I love that one. But I think the easy one for me to say was the NXT Championship. That was... I love both of those wrestlers, in Gargano and Adam Cole. The place was very heavily for Adam Cole.
Yeah, it seemed it.
They were very all in on Cole, because apparently some people don't like Gargano. They think he's corny and cheesy, which you need to get out of here. So I was like one of the few ones going for Gargano, and the last 4 or 5 minutes of that match, just back and forth with super kick, you know, just thinking that Adam Cole won it like twice, and continuing the storyline of Johnny never winning the big one.
Yep.
Like, he calls himself Johnny Takeover, but he never wins the big one. And yeah, seeing him win that was like the perfect kickoff to that whole weekend. Yeah, that match was easily my favorite, but you can't go wrong with any of the matches.
No, for sure. They were all good. Yeah, I really liked the championship match, but I don't know. I think my favorite was the opener. I think it was the 4 of those guys going at it. Obviously, you know, they can all put on a show. They all have a lot of skill, as does, you know, most of the roster. But, like, obviously the payoff of the end of, like, these guys are moving on, the big hugs and all that. But, like, they did a lot of impressive stuff. Like, the big guys, they keep impressing me with what they can do. Like, they did the side flip rollover thing. Yep. They did, obviously, Hanson did his cartwheels numerous times.
I think you mean Eric now.
Or whatever they're calling him. I don't know. Big guy beard, cartwheel, did the thing. Oh, God, I didn't realize they changed the first names, too. No.
Yeah, it's bad. This is now maybe my second time seeing War Raiders at a takeover open up the show, and for them to open up against Black and Ricochet, which are 2 of my favorites, they tore the house down to start off. Seeing them say goodbye at the end was, I'm not gonna lie, I cried because it's super emotional. Both of those guys, even though Ricochet hasn't been in NXT that long, it's only been like a year. You can tell how much they love wrestling, and obviously they've been doing it forever. Right. Before they got to NXT, but to be there to say thank you to them before they are like being moved up was awesome. Yeah. It was a really cool moment that they gave them. I had no idea that the Raiders were also getting moved up.
I'll get to that later, but
but like that's awesome, because all 4 of those guys deserve it. I love how NXT usually has their tag team division start off the show, because I feel like that's a really good way to pace out the show and start the show off and get the energy and momentum even more hype than it usually is, because people are when you go to an NXT show, they know they're in for a great time. Yeah,
absolutely. Backtracking on the Riddle Velveteen match for a little while, that was one that kind of took me for a surprise. Like, I didn't love it, but I was like, I'm enjoying this more than I thought. Riddle, or a topic we'll get to eventually, he's one that, like, I'm fine with. I don't love it, But I liked how they got creative with how they were storytelling it. Because Dream's technically supposed to be a heel, I think. I don't know. Blurred lines, whatever. But I like how Riddle kind of had to flip his script and he had to get, like, angry during the match. And I thought he was going to full, flip on it. But then, cooler heads prevail, I guess. But that made me more invested, was seeing him get frustrated and then just go with that, I guess. Because,
for sure.
I don't know, if he just kind of nonchalant the whole time, I don't know if it would have been as interesting to watch.
But I do like, if you've never seen Dream wrestle, I just love, like, he is what I was as a kid, and mimicking, like, my favorite wrestlers at the time. He's just basically cosplaying as his favorite stuff and doing everyone's moves.
Yeah, he's a mash of a bunch of people.
I love that gimmick so much, and he pulls it off so well.
Yeah.
Him coming out on the throne and having the guys carry him out was really, really cool. Dream is... I think he should be up sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be cool to have him, like, in the main title picture for a while. But yeah, he's incredibly talented, and coming from a guy that got cut on Tough Enough because he had too much of an ego.
Yeah.
And seeing him now, like, he's perfect for it.
For sure. So yeah, awesome show. Obviously. No big surprises either. Like, I thought usually they have, like, at least something go on. I mean, we do have the signing of Kushida, which I honestly don't know much about, but cool.
Yes,
more people. Awesome. But yeah, I was expecting something. We did get the Tommaso ending.
I was about to say, I was not expecting that because he just had neck surgery.
Right.
And again, that was another really cool send off. And it's especially with NXT, the way they fulfill the storylines and they don't forget what the stories are, which WWE does all the time. It paid off really well, and I hope his career's not done. I know some people are saying his career might be over.
Yeah.
But I need to see the ending of that feud.
Yes.
I want to see him get Goldie back.
Yes.
And yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Papa Griff chimes in. Even though I was predicted Riddle to go over, I thought he looked good in defeat. Better for his character build. I agree. Yeah. Sometimes,
especially afterwards, like, he gave him the bro fist.
I drew the parallel. Remember when Dream and Alistair had their feud?
Yes.
And Dream was like consistently, say my name, say my...
Yep.
It felt like the same thing there with the bro fist.
Absolutely.
I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah. I will say, before TakeOver actually started,
yep,
they did the taping for the next week.
Mm-hmm.
2 of the matches were whatever. Street Profits versus Eichner and Barthel. That was a pretty cool match. The other one, I was up getting food, so I didn't see it. But I finally got to see Candice LeRae wrestle live.
Oh, okay, cool.
She versed Aaliyah, and it was a good match. Probably not great because I'm not very high on Aaliyah. I don't think she's all that awesome in the ring. But Candice wrestling live is awesome.
Cool.
Like, I get it now. Candice is. I want to see her try to take out Shayna. I know that's probably gonna be tough because Shayna's a beast, but that would be a really cool feud, and I'm excited if they go that way.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta still sit down and actually catch up on NXTs. I know I keep saying it, but I'm like, and then I agree with you on the Aaliyah thing. I remember when she first showed up. That was when I was like watching consistently. I was like, okay, I get it, but okay. I mean, I'm glad they're trying to rework it because, it's worked for other people, so hopefully it means something. And she
came out with Vanessa Bourne.
Right.
Like,
she's
got a manager thing.
So, we'll see. All right, so TakeOver's good. Then we get to, Saturday was Hall of Fame. We're going to skip that for now. Then we got WrestleMania, the 12-hour ride of a lifetime, which you were also at.
I was.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, and I'm not shaking my head because I thought it was bad.
Yeah.
WrestleMania was awesome.
Right.
As a whole package, the show was awesome. It's hard for me thinking about what I was feeling during the matches. It was hard because it was so long.
Yeah.
Like, I remember very big moments throughout the show. And then I remember the huge snafu after the show where they weren't running all the trains like they were supposed
Oh, right.
to. And I didn't get home until 6:00 in the morning.
Jesus.
Because they were only running one train from the stadium back to Jersey, and there were thousands of us waiting in the rain for like an hour after the show ended.
Wow.
It was rough. So that's part of like my experience.
I get you.
But the show itself was incredible. From kickoff to the end. I would have moved a couple things around, but I'm sure we'll get into that.
Yeah. So we had a bunch of matches. You said you pulled up the card. Would you mind running through that?
Sure. Mania started off on the kickoff with the Cruiserweight Championship. Tony Nese and Buddy Murphy. Buddy's been on a tear up until this point, and he actually lost the title to Tony Nese. Which I didn't think was going to happen, just because WWE doesn't like their hometown boys and girls winning, ever. And Tony's from Long Island, so this is a huge hometown win for him. Great match. I think the rematch on 205 Live on Tuesday after Mania was 10 times better. But yeah, it's a good way to start. The Cruiserweights are a good way to start a main pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Same thing. Get the energy going. They know what they're doing in that regard, at least. Second one was the women's battle royal with Carmella winning. Again, fine with Carmella winning. I thought that was cool how they did that. I'm shocked at what they're doing with Asuka. Like, shocked.
We'll get to that too.
Yeah, I'm incredibly shocked what they're doing with her. It was cool seeing Sarah Logan being the last one before Carmella. Yeah. Finally giving some Riot Squad members some highlights, which is, again, we'll get into that later. Then the Tag Team Championship match, which was thrown together, I think, 2 days before Mania. They added it to the card with the Revival going in as champions versus Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. Ryder and Hawkins won, which was fun. Again, don't know what they're doing with the Revival. They're a great team. But it was cool being there for Hawkins ending his losing streak.
Yeah.
It was like, what, 260 something?
Something up there, yeah.
And then we had the men's battle royal on the this was the last one of the kickoff show. And of course, Braun Strowman won. I want to highlight that Colin Jost, one of the SNL hosts, coming out in a Cleveland Browns Odell Beckham jersey in the giant stadium. I was in the middle level, like the mezzanine of the stadium, and the moment he came out and I saw the orange jersey, I didn't even need to see the numbers. I knew what he was doing. I stood up and was screaming obscenities at him the entire way he got to the ring. I was like, how could you? You know what you're doing. How dare you? The wound is still fresh. So huge props to him as coming and doing like a heel thing like that. That was awesome. How did you like the kickoff stuff? Was it?
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't see any of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Probably smart.
Yeah. What happened that day? Was I just sleeping? I might have had a headache. I don't remember. But I was like, no, yeah, I definitely had a headache. I had a migraine, so I was like, I'm not getting out of bed right now. And then 7 rolled around. I'm like, time to get up. Let's go.
But as far as kickoff shows, it was fine. I mean, I'm glad they weren't on the main card. Well, I think one of them probably should have been on there. I'm not sure which one, but and then the show kicked off with Rollins and Lesnar.
Yep.
Well, no, I'm sorry. The show kicked off with Alexa Bliss introducing Hulk Hogan. Again, out of my seat, cursing. And go away. I love how they tried to play off when he was at Mania last time and he said the name of the place wrong. And then he still said the name of the place wrong.
Yeah, we're just going to keep doing that over and over again.
I don't think he did it on purpose, though. Still.
Oh, he didn't? Oh, I thought he did. That's why I was like, I hate this.
Well, he came out and he said, I'm glad to be here in the Pontiac Silverdome. Yeah. That was the joke.
Oh, okay, yeah. I knew this time he did it on purpose. Then, no, I know that.
Then he said MetLife Center, and I'm pretty sure he was
okay.
serious. Like Hulk. You see the giant things on the side of the stadium? It says MetLife Stadium. Oh, my God. I mean, cool. great. There were a lot of Hulk fans.
Yeah,
Mania.
he got a pretty good. At least it sounded pretty good.
But I loved while they were posing off. And then Heyman just strutting out right past them, just screaming wrong, wrong. I was happy that he saved us from that. What do you think about Brock leading the show?
I mean, for what the reasoning they're put, if we're not last, blah blah blah. I think that's a good move because, I mean, going into this card, I was talking with my dad. It was very you always try and figure out, okay, what's going where, because obviously the ladies were locked in last. So if the Kofi payoff was gonna happen, where do you fit that? And then Rollins is gonna go over, it's just the puzzle pieces of where. Yeah. So it was either obviously Kofi opens or they open. So I think it was a good move. And judging by what I heard, seems like everybody's go, get out of here, like we talked about last time. So I think it was good just to be bye. Yeah. And then get out of the way. So
knowing now how the show was paced, I'm happy that it let off. Because something I was worried about was, will all the faces win?
Yeah.
And I was worried that one of them wasn't going to.
Oh, yeah, that was the heart attack the whole time. Oh, crap. They can't all win.
I think they paced them out perfectly. Beginning, middle, end. It was fantastic. Yeah. And then after Rollins beat Lesnar with a low blow and 3 curb stomps.
Yeah, I wish that match went a little bit better, but I get it. You had a lot of stuff to get through. So
one of the... In kind of wrestling, we do the prediction stuff, and one of the bonus questions was, how many suplexes will be there in this match? Because there's usually a ton.
Right.
I think there are only 3 or 4. I was
Damn.
Wow, I'm very surprised. Lesnar threw him a bunch, but no suplexes.
Okay.
Second match, which, looking at the time of each match, didn't realize it was that long. It was a 60-minute match between Styles and Orton.
Wow, yeah.
This is one where I don't remember much. Because of the crowd. Because I don't know if you read about it online or saw what was going on, but they were chanting "Turn the light off."
Oh, I saw someone post about that in the wrestling group. I don't think that chant came through, but
yeah, the entire place was chanting "Turn the light off" because it was legit shining in their face. They couldn't see the ring, the stage, anything.
Yikes.
And so that kind of took away from the match for me because I was kind of annoyed. I was I'm trying to watch, but I understand why you're chanting. So, cool. Styles won. Great. I would have preferred Orton winning for other reasons because Kofi's now champ. I would love to see them at some point.
Right.
Then the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. Usos were the champs. Aleister Black and Ricochet, who did a ton of work Mania weekend. Rusev and Shinsuke, and then The Bar. This is a fun match. Tag teams, especially when the Usos are involved, are incredible. Happy the Usos won. Were you expecting Black and Ricochet?
I was either that, but I was definitely on the Hardy train, building up to it. I was like, oh, come on, let's do that. Yeah. But then I got let down, so I was like, But, I mean, I have nothing against the Usos. I was a little surprised they walked out, but not because I was specifically pulling for anybody besides Black and Ricochet. But it wasn't oh, they gotta win type thing. So
gotcha.
It's eh.
I also think WWE is playing catch up with them because they weren't on Mania forever.
Oh, okay.
And so, I feel like they want to give them a lot of moments, which they deserve because the Usos are incredible. And then comes Shane McMahon versus The Miz in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Did not have high hopes for this one.
No.
I thought it was super entertaining.
Oh, yeah. They did great.
Especially with Miz's dad with his awkward fight pose.
Yep.
He was so wooden, like a statue. He wasn't even doing that.
No, but it's like how it's Mr. Posed.
I thought that was funny. I think I saw a meme afterwards of... They took Mrs. Dad and put Undertaker in
the they've been plopping him in front everywhere.
I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. I didn't realize until it actually happened minutes before the huge bump, the suplex off on the thing.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that whole thing was spaced out the entire show. I was like, that's a very flat black surface, probably for some crazy thing, but I didn't notice it until then. That happened right in front of me. That was
cool.
Really cool.
Nice.
I actually really like that Shane won. To keep
Yeah.
up the heel. Best in the world.
I saw it after, and I was like, oh no, he's on top. And then they start counting. I was like, all right.
Yeah. Makes sense. Then we have the Women's Tag Team Championship match, the Fatal 4-Way. Bayley and Sasha, Boston Hug Connection, they were the champs, versus Nia and Tamina, Beth Phoenix and Natalya, and the Iconics. Iconics won in a very heel way, which is awesome. I love the Iconics. You could say what you want about their wrestling ability, but as heel characters, they are top tier.
You should have seen his Twitter feed right after it happened.
Exactly. Everyone tweeted at me. He's like, "Congrats on the win!" It's like, I'm so happy that people know me as the Iconic man. I'm real happy about that. In a weird sort of way, kind of funny was right below me.
Yeah.
Like I could see over, and the row was right behind me or below. So I looked down during the show, and I could just see Cool Greg sitting there like this. He was devastated, and I mean, I understand why. He loves Sasha. I hope Sasha's not gone for good.
Yeah, it's not. Whatever's going on.
It's weird. Sasha's she's one of the best women in the world.
For sure.
And she deserves better, but also, like, you were the first ever champs type of thing. So, I don't know. It's catch-22. Then comes, I think, the match of the night. It's the WWE Championship match. It's Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan. Yeah. The goosebumps. I have goosebumps just reading the names of who was fighting in the match. My entire section, minus one guy, was rooting for Kofi. They should have. He was very hardcore, all about Daniel Bryan. Not because he didn't believe in Kofi as champ, just because I think he liked the belt design.
Oh, okay.
Daniel Bryan did. I think that's the only reason why. What did you think about this one?
That was a really good one. Looking back at it, I'm surprised Rowan didn't get involved in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, it was a solid match. They kept it moving and kept you guessing like it wasn't going to happen too. Yeah. So it was good. And then, yeah, the payoff was great too. Little weird they had the belt in the box.
Yeah.
Like, I get the reasoning behind it, but like, thinking about it, like, wait a minute, logic wise, but no, it was really good. It was a good payoff, and it was good to hear everybody like explode.
And I'm very excited to rewatch Mania at some point in the future, because being there live was super emotional, because Kofi deserves it, and I'm so happy he won. But I saw the screenshots of Xavier Woods crying.
Oh yeah.
And that made me feel even more emotional. Like, on the train ride home, I saw that. I was like, oh my God. It's so awesome that they, like, he's not selfish enough to want it for him. The same thing with Big E, and they did that for Kofi, and that's not just a storyline thing. That's them. Kofi deserves it. He put in the work. I feel like everyone in the company who's been there that long deserves a shot. Like, R-Truth had a championship shot back in the day against John Cena.
Yep.
Like, everyone, I think, deserves to have a shot and see how they go over with the crowd. And everyone loves Kofi. I don't think anyone really truly hates Kofi.
Right.
I could be wrong, but if you do, then I'm sorry. Kofi's awesome. You should change that. That was easily the match of the night for me.
Yeah.
Came close to beating some of the NXT matches, but it's pretty close. After that one was the 1 minute long match between Joe and Ray, which I kind of figured that was going to happen. Ray injured himself the week before.
Yeah, the ankle injury or whatever it was.
Yeah, so I was expecting something like that, and it's cool to see Joe actually on a Mania stage.
Yeah, after like what, 2 years or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, Joe's a monster. I'm happy.
That's how he should be.
Did that, absolutely. Then it was Reigns and McIntyre. Great. Another one where I was kind of like emotionally exhausted after coaching Daniel.
Right.
I think everyone knew Roman was winning. It would have been really cool for Drew to win, to really put over how much of a dick he is.
Yeah.
But Roman winning is the right choice there, obviously. Then comes the part where I almost fell asleep. This is the worst part of the show for me. It was Triple H and Batista. In their no holds barred match, 25-minute long match, including those insane entrances with the cars. Whatever, it was a fine match.
Yeah.
Batista was, I guess, so full of energy he tripped over the ropes getting in the ring. That was hilarious.
Yeah. That was.
I like that Rick came out and interfered at the end. Like I kind of knew that was going to happen, but
it was a weird one. Because I mean, the nose ring thing specifically, I get it, but Triple H seemed really like evil.
Yes.
In that moment, and I was like, okay, I get like aggressive, like you're trying to get back for Rick and stuff like that. Like you can still do that as a good guy, but that came off like really sadistic. Maybe it was just his facial expressions or like how he was doing it. I was like, this is weird. I don't know about that.
It reminded me a lot of the last time Mania was at MetLife. Again with Triple H, it was Triple H versus Brock, returning Brock at Mania 29, and I had that same feeling because I was there live for that one. It was okay, two older wrestlers who I love, but like they're just kind of in it.
Yeah,
they're just there for the Mania moments.
And it was a fine match. It was good.
Yeah.
I mean, Batista retiring afterwards, cool. Like doing the one more thing.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
I really
with that.
wanted Star-Lord to come out and help him. Like I really, really, really wanted that.
But yeah, it was all right. It was what it was.
And then whoever decided after Triple H and Batista went for 25 minutes, then to have Corbin and Angle for it was a 6-minute match, whatever. But you can't put two wrestlers back to back who haven't been doing it for a while or not like at the same level of skill.
Well,
it really for me dragged it down. Like two older guys matches right back.
Did Elias go in between that? Or was that earlier?
I think he went after Angle.
After?
I can't remember because it's not in this.
I swear it was before because I think he joked about Cena coming out for Angle.
Oh,
or
you know what? You might be right. Yeah.
So I think they were trying to like separate it with that, which that was cool.
Yeah.
I mean, seeing the old gimmick coming back.
That was. I was sitting there. I was like, "What is this video about the Bambino? This is weird."
Yeah, that was
Taker coming out in Yankees gear. Like that's what I was expecting. Yeah, that Elias thing was really cool. And again, the payoff on Raw after Mania was awesome when Taker actually came out.
Right. But yeah, I get that the pacing of those matches. While I don't like Corbin's current gimmick, which. Another thing we'll get to later. I'm fine with Corbin. Like I really dug him in NXT and what he was doing there. So I'm not like all up in arms against the Angle loss. Like
I'm not either.
I've heard that like you go out on your back thing so many times. So like that was fine. Cool. You know, he got his send off, too. But
honestly, it was killing me seeing Kurt wrestle.
Yeah, he's been struggling.
It was real rough. It's such a huge difference between last year at Mania when him and Ronda teamed up because I thought he did fine in that one, and it just really caught up to him.
Yeah,
and it was kind of rough. The moonsault, I was very scared for the moonsault.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was like, no. Like he did a match against Gable like a few weeks prior, and there was one suplex that was like, I was like, oh no.
And then after that one, where we said goodbye to Kurt, another super emotional moment, we got Balor, or the Demon Balor, versus Bobby Lashley. That entrance at that stadium was really dope.
Yeah.
It was really cool. I've now gotten to see the Demon twice live. Cool. Yeah, it was great. I think we all kind of figured he would win over Lashley. I'm happy that it was quick because after Kofi and DB Daniel, like we were waiting for the main event, at least for me.
Yeah.
The women, and Becky versus Ronda versus Charlotte. When let me ask you this, because I thought this was insane. When that helicopter was shown, did you think for a second that Charlotte was gonna rappel down?
Or on the top.
I immediately looked up. I was like, "Oh my god!" And they actually had, I don't know if they showed it on the street.
Yeah, they did.
Had a helicopter flying over, and then when it got past like the middle point, it was like, oh, "Okay, no, that's just a pre-tape thing."
Yeah.
I really, really, really thought they were going to do that. Like, okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, that would have been neat.
Joan Jett kicked ass. That she sounded great live. And the match was good.
Yeah, it was okay.
It was. I heard and I read that they were pressed for time because apparently in Jersey, if you are, is it an hour over or 15 minutes over, whatever the end time was, that you were going to get fined $100,000.
Jeez, okay.
And they already got one of those fines during Mania, I think. So that's why it felt a little rushed towards the end.
Okay.
The botch at the end was so oblivious.
Yeah.
And it is what it is, I guess. It's not a screw job or anything.
Right.
Becky was winning no matter what, and everyone knew that. Just wish it was a little cleaner.
For sure. I get what they were trying to do, like with the finisher unbalanced thing, but it's a very unfortunate circumstance of like where the mess up just, it doesn't take away like, okay, it does kind of, it just ruins that moment because everybody was very surprised, or at least it sounded like, oh, it's done. I mean, like you said, everybody expected Becky to win and wanted Becky to win, and she should have won, which she did. Yeah. So the reaction was still good, but it was awkward. So
it also doesn't help that the camera was right there. I think if the camera was on the other side of the ring,
would have been a little different.
It would have been better. But yeah, that was Mania. It was cool to have Pyro back.
Yeah.
It was
saving
really,
up.
Really awesome. Yeah, and they saved up a lot. Because it felt like every wrestler had its own.
Yeah,
their own pyro.
They had a bunch of times where they cut out to the really wide helicopter shot of the arena or stadium getting it. So.
Yeah. As far as the stage, I was a little let down, just a little bit.
Oh, the big ass screen!
I love the big ass screen, but like when they were there in 29, it was the Brooklyn Bridge, and they had the Statue of Liberty above the ring. Like it was more based on the location. Even like last year was New Orleans, right?
I believe so. Yes.
They had like the Mardi Gras.
Yep. The
X's up on the
thingy.
Stage, which was awesome. And next year they're gonna have the pirate ship for Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
So I just wish it was a little bit more personalized.
I get
this
that.
Year. But show was awesome. Mania is a great show to go to live if it's this type of quality. Because even the matches that I did not really enjoy that much, the crowd made up for it. At least for me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a bucket list scenario, and I'm glad you got able to go and experience that whole weekend. Yeah. Which is awesome. So now we get to the riveting question of that Papa Griff asked. So how long did it take to get out and get home?
Oh, yeah. So the show Mania ended at 12:30. And I was in the first row of my section, so I had to wait for everyone behind me to leave. And by the time I got out to get on the train line, I waited another hour before I got on the train in the rain because it started to rain. Then I got a train to Jersey to Penn Station in New York, then an hour and a half train home, and then a 45-minute drive home, or hour and a half train to my car, then 45-minute drive home. I got home at 6 o'clock in the morning. Wasn't happy. My dad was up getting ready to go to work, and I walk in the door. He's like, "Oh, really? This late?" It's like, "Yeah, I don't want to talk about that." I went straight into bed. I slept till like 2 o'clock because then I also did Raw and SmackDown, so I would just get up and do it all over again. I wouldn't trade anything. My bucket list thing was to do all of the events, minus Hall of Fame. I wish I would have loved to be there for that one. But we had the Kind of Funny World Tour thing.
Right.
So I'm happy I did that. If Mania ever comes back, or I have the opportunity to go to a Mania again, I will probably just stick to TakeOver and Mania. Especially because I feel like Raw and SmackDown after Mania isn't that special anymore. especially this year. Like,
yeah, they only had like what, one?
Lars coming back.
Yeah, that was the only thing.
And Lacey actually doing something.
Finally, yeah.
Which I loved. That was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then they kind of ripped us off at the main event. Like, I was so excited for a Kofi Rollins thing.
So them fighting each other, cool.
Yeah.
Belt for belt. Why? What are we doing?
I never thought for a second that one of them was.
I was just highly concerned because I know WWE is that stupid that they would do it.
Oh, Kofi, you have your moment. Great. Now it's on 7.
Well, either of them wouldn't. Just being like, you have these big rosters and you want to go to one belt? No!
I never thought for a second that one of them was going to win.
Right.
Like, clean. What I thought was really going to happen was we were going to have Undisputed Era come up and mess up that main event. That's what I wanted to happen.
Yes.
Like,
even still do the bar interfere too, and then have 4 whoop the 4 of their asses.
Yes.
Like, still do that. Yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen. And then, no. Just go over clean.
It was very, very disappointing. Also, if you're ever at a Raw after Mania and you want to bring a beach ball and I'm sitting next to you, I'm gonna knock you out. Don't do that.
Every year.
I was so pissed off. I don't know how many were caught on camera.
I think we only got one. And then I saw there was the clip of Cesaro off cam ripping one across.
Oh, okay. So there were like 6 or 7 beach balls at one point. Security was sprinting and grabbing him and ripping him apart. They were doing that during Kofi and Seth, though.
Wow.
Like, before the bar even came out. And it was like, come on, this matchup is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I paid good money. I understand you pay your money, you get to chant, do whatever you want.
Right.
But when you're purposely trying to derail the show for no good reason than to get yourself over, I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
Not a fan. Oh, well, I guess.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was going to talk about it later, but since it's going to be quick, short, simple, and it's wrapping up the weekend, Hall of Fame. Unfortunately, legend Bret Hart got tackled and then punched. What are your thoughts on that whole situation?
Thank you, Dash Wilder.
Yep.
That's what I want to say first and foremost. That fan, I guess, was putting out some tweets beforehand how he was unhappy that the women were main eventing. And I guess this was his way to get back at the McMahons.
Okay.
What a douchebag.
Yeah.
First of all, you don't go after somebody who is there being inducted in the Hall of Fame after Jim Neidhart dies. Oh, the Owen Hart situation. I believe, didn't he just have a stroke or a heart attack, he's like within the year?
He's been going through some stuff, yeah.
So, like, come on. Obviously that person is deranged and he needs mental health, and I love that all the different wrestlers got in there to hop on him. And it wasn't even just the wrestlers, like Ronda's husband got in there, which I thought was awesome. And then leading him away, if you didn't see the video, I hope you did, Dash Wilder just come up right in the face, and I was so happy to see that. I love watching those old YouTube videos, like when fans back in the day would hop in. And then both wrestlers just stopped
right
out of him. Yeah, I love that. I love that he got what was coming, not that he did something stupid like that, you know?
Yeah. So, obviously the guy's an idiot. Apparently they interviewed him somewhere afterwards, and he did Bret tackled Bret bullshit. So fuck that guy. Yeah. But I didn't watch it live because I was on the train coming home. But I watched it. It must have been it couldn't have been the next day. Maybe Monday I watched it. And they already, like, edited it out, no problem. I couldn't tell at any point when they cut or anything. I was like, wait. Like, because I was sitting there the whole time, honestly, like, okay, when's this fuck gonna go? No. I mean, at one point, Bret did make a joke about hostile fans in New York. So I guess it was before that, because, the crowd was like, ha. But, and then he went to some story about him, Jim, and Bundy in a car and looping around constantly.
I still need to watch it.
It was good. It was a good ceremony overall. Couple AEW jokes, which I appreciated with Billy Gunn being there.
Oh yeah, I was wondering how they did that.
Yeah, so they did a few jokes where like everybody was gonna talk, and then Billy was like, "I wonder if I get to talk. Am I allowed to talk?" or anything like that. And then Sean made a all-in joke. He's like, "Billy, are you all in?" or whatever, something like that. So they called it out a few times, which was nice. I'm glad they didn't just straight up ignore it.
I kind of like the setup for this one too, where they were in the ring.
I'm 50-50 on it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I get it, what they're trying to do with it. I kind of like the more formality of the stage and then like everybody being there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I'm hit or miss on it.
Did anyone go too long?
No, I didn't feel like we had any Mr. T, or they made a joke about somebody from last year a lot too, who kept going too long. I don't remember. But no, it didn't feel like anybody was long, drawn out. So yeah, that was good. Everybody was paced pretty well. Big E. Oh yes, that was yes. Thank you, Papa Griff. The New Day being on camera the whole time, just being hams. Oh yeah, Xavier and Big E were going in, and they were great. So that was definitely a spectacle to see in itself.
Oh, you know what? I did see a clip during Tori's speech.
Yeah.
About the puberty line, and then both Big E and Xavier stood up and was like standing ovation. I did see that clip. That was
but they do that the whole night. So yeah, when you watch that, you'll find them real quick, but just occasionally just pop over to see what they're doing. Hillbilly Jim was the one from last year. Okay, thank you. Okay. But yeah, all right, that's WrestleMania weekend and the abundance of events. So, like I said, happy you got to experience that and have a good time. Minus,
hope you get to experience that one day.
Yeah, that's on the bucket list, and the Rumble eventually. Those would be awesome to go to.
Can I tell you what I did so I can afford Mania?
Sure.
Because I don't make enough money to buy them when the tickets go on sale.
Mm-hmm.
So the moment I knew that it was coming, what I ended up doing was every paycheck buy myself a $50 StubHub gift card.
Oh, okay.
And so that way I had a bank of like a couple $100. So when StubHub tickets got extremely low, because I waited until like a week before Mania. That's how I was able to afford the entire weekend. Because I just kept buying myself StubHub gift codes, and I think I'm gonna do that from now on if I know that I won't be able to have it up front.
That's cool.
I used my noodle for a little bit.
Pro tip, everybody. There you go. Cool.